News 46 is brought to you by Affiliated Chiropractic and Affiliated Physical Therapy. Come in for your free consultation. Call 775-727-8900. Our goal is to create the individual treatment plan that will restore your health and end pain. News 46 is also brought to you by Southwest Medical Associates. Look for news about their latest healthcare center opening soon in your neighborhood. Southwest Medical Associates. Now that's powerful medicine. News 46 is also brought to you by Red Apple Fireworks. You've never seen anything like it. Nevada's elite fireworks shopping experience. Red Apple Fireworks.
Tonight on News 46, the Donner stabbing preliminary hearing wraps up.
Government cutbacks reduce energy assistance for Nevadans.
And fans gather at the Hideaway to meet a pool plane legend. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Rick Vale and Rhonda Van Winkle. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell and news across Nevada with Janet Eric. News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, July 19th, 2011. I'm Rick Vale.
And I'm Robin Christine for News 46. Topping our news tonight, yesterday was the final day of the preliminary hearing with 5 defendants who are accused in the Donner stabbings. 2 victims were stabbed over a dozen times each. One person, Micheal Frasher, lost his life. One person, Antionette Bell, survived, leaving her with permanent injuries.
I think we finally got out of there about 6 p.m. I think this was the 4th day of testimony. And basically what happened was the state presented their witnesses. Witnesses testified. We presented our case. Obviously, at a preliminary hearing, the defense certainly has the right not to do anything. It's the state's burden, as it is at trial, to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. The defense doesn't have to do anything, and they exercised that right. They didn't present any evidence. So at the time the state was finished and the defense closed, then we gave closing arguments, and I gave my closing arguments that wrapped up at about 4:45, I think. And then after the defense gave their closing arguments and the state made a rebuttal and the court made her decisions, then I think we got out of there close to 6 o'clock, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. But all 4 of the defendants were bound over on different counts. They have an arraignment this Monday, July 25th. It's CR 6767A in the district court this Monday, where they will be called upon to enter a plea, a court of competent jurisdiction to entertain a felony plea. They will plead guilty or not guilty. I assume they'll all plead not guilty. And then we'll get trial dates. The trial date that I will be requesting, if I get the chance to try to fit something into a very busy court schedule, because of the DNA evidence, which is extremely important to both sides. Both sides are going to want that and need that. It's my understanding that the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Crime Lab, even though they've expedited it at my request, I don't believe they'll have that prior to December. So I'll be asking for trial dates not to be before then, in fairness to both sides, because we're going to need that DNA evidence. There were some bail requests that were denied at the close of the evidence. The judge revoked Michael Maxwell's bail, and he was remanded to the custody of the Nye County Sheriff's Office. And so that's kind of where we are right now.
And so they'll be held until this December trial date, or the arraignments are on Monday, and we'll see what goes on from there. Are they all being represented by separate attorneys? Certainly.
Tiffany Rubio is represented by attorney Abatangelo. Defendant Victoria Garcia is represented by attorney Butel. Defendant Maxwell is represented by attorney Printy, and defendant Jackson is represented by attorney Gensler.
All right, and then you'll let us know what's going on as far as the arraignments when they come up?
Certainly.
Many Nevada families are now scrambling to see how they will afford to keep the power on. The latest government cuts backs have left them with no assistance. Deanna O'Donnell reports.
Thousands of Nevada residents who rely on financial assistance to pay their power bills likely won't get help this year because of federal funding cuts. The Division of Welfare and Supportive Services said federal funding for Nevada's Energy Assistance Program will amount to only $4 million this year, down from $15.8 million in the fiscal year that just ended June 30th. While the funding provided by Nevada utility customers through the universal energy charge on their bills will remain relatively steady at $8.7 million, the anticipated decline in federal assistance has forced the agency to reduce both eligibility levels and the amount of assistance that can be provided. The income threshold for eligibility this year will be 110% of the poverty levels compared to 150% last year. Thousands of Nevadans will lose eligibility because of this change. The amount of support will also be reduced to about $500 this year compared to $860 in the year that just ended. The reductions come as demand has increased from 21,900 households being helped in fiscal year 2009 to 27,500 in fiscal year 2010 and 32,600 households in the last fiscal year. These cuts in federal funding will have a significant effect on Nevada families struggling with the highest unemployment rate in the nation. Some who will feel the effect of the funding reductions are 1,700 pending applications from last year. The households will get no support in the just ended fiscal year because of lack of funds. The applications will be processed for the current year, but the reduced eligibility guidelines will apply. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
And coming up, Pahrump welcomes a pool legend.
And a new business opens in the valley.
Well, all this and more right after the break. Please keep it here.
Trick shot pool player Michael Massey performed at the Hideaway during their pool tournament this weekend for a good cause. We caught up with Mr. Massey, who had many fans excited to meet this legend.
Well, I'm Mike Massey. I travel. I've been playing pool for 53 years, and I travel all over the world doing shows. I won 17 world and international championships in the trick shots. I was a national 9-ball champion, and I just travel playing pool, Yeah.
So what brings you here to Pahrump?
Well, last year I was here. We're doing a thing for the Veterans and the Cancer Society Association, and we're trying to raise some money for a good cause, So I'm going to be doing a trick shot show, playing some challengers, and just having a good time.
Tell me what a trick shot show consists of.
Well, the trick shots are actually not, they call them trick shots, but it's more like skill shots, actually, knowing how to set the balls up, and where you can make 4 balls, 6 balls, or 14 balls in one shot. And then, of course, the boot shot, where I shoot the cue ball 11 or 12 feet through the air into a cowboy boot on the floor. And but I set up a lot of shots and actually have people out of the audience that shoot the shots, and they get a kick out of that, too. Yeah.
So if you set it up for them correctly, do they get to make the same kind of shots?
Yeah, I set the shots up. I set the shots up, and then I let them shoot, and they make the balls. Because it's all in the setup on some of the shots. Yeah.
I know that Barbara Johnston from Quilts for Cancer really looks forward to you being here every year, and this is a great fundraiser for her.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great for what they're raising the money for. I'm a veteran myself. I was in during the Vietnam War. I didn't go to Vietnam, but I was in Germany, and so I know a lot of the things that the veterans go through. Matter of fact, we're doing a thing for the veterans in Orlando the 13th of August too. So it's a great. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad they asked me to come. Yeah.
So you're going to be performing as well for that one in Orlando?
Yes. Matter of fact, though, it's a ministry. We're doing a thing there to witness about Jesus Christ, and tell him what He's done in our lives, and we know that he would do in others, and that's what our, it's going to be a trick shot ministry there.
So you're still traveling all over the United States. Do you have a website that people can look up more information about you?
Well, I really don't have a website. I'm on other websites because I wouldn't be able to keep it up. I travel so much, and if I had a website, I'd want to do the right kind of job. You can find me on YouTube probably 200 times, and Wikipedia and a lot of things. Yeah.
So you're stationed out of Vegas?
Well, not really. No, Park City, Utah. We use for our home address, but we're like gypsies. I've done about 100 shows this year, 100 shows in clinics just all across the United States. And we're going to Europe in September. We were in Europe last year for about a month, so I travel other countries too.
Well, a new business opened up over the weekend with a barbecue to benefit the volunteers of Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue.
It's going very well. This is the first lull we've had since we opened the doors.
So tell me what we have here in the store. It's a wide array of different products.
We have everything from beautiful handmade knitted and crocheted items, courtesy of Beverly and Connie, to European art glass, crystal. We have the full line of Shackley nutrition and cleaning products. As you can see in the back corner, we are having a fabric store. We have an incredible line of jams, jerkies, and jellies, all natural, no preservatives. See, we have Steve's engraving. We have John Hudnall's with his custom pens. We have White Raven Studios with stone and wood carvings. We have Jessica Hedinger with Michi. And we have Nikki McPherson with Scentsy.
Wonderful. Hence the name Mini Mall. We've got a wide array of things in here. I know that we're having a grand opening and we're contributing to the volunteers at the Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue.
We have a barbecue going on out front with barbecued brisket sandwiches, pulled pork sandwiches, Texas baked beans, chips, and drink. And it's a suggested $5 donation, and that all goes to the volunteers of the fire department. Wonderful. And two of the vendors that she missed was Sassy Monkey, which is all handmade baby items for the nursing mother and the babies. And we also have Scentsy in here. Nikki McPherson, she has her booth in here too.
Wonderful.
Now I think we remembered everybody.
I think we got them all in.
Yeah.
But the best thing to do would be come on down here. Where are we located at?
We're located on Highway 372 at 19, I do that all the time, it's 1190. If you know where the grocery surplus and the donut depot are, you're in the right center.
Wonderful. This is a great store to look around and get some items, even gift items as well.
Yes, we have a lot of beautiful things that were gifts, stuff for your own home. In April of next year, we're planning on having a bride's month because we have gifts in here for the bride. We have our gentleman who does the etchings on the glasses and the serving for the brides, and so we've kind of looking forward to having April as Brides Month in here, so you can come in and look at what we have as far as gifts for the bridal showers and the things the bride can use for her wedding.
Wow, that's great. What hours of operation?
We're open from 10 to 5, Tuesday through Saturday.
And what's the phone number?
Phone number here is 727-3767.
Our final segment with Sheriff Tony DeMeo regarding the new Nye County Detention Center, which is now under construction.
Well, looking at June of 2012, about a little less than a year from now, and we're going to see how it goes. Is like I can say is that right now a project's supposed to take a week, and it took 2 days. So there's there's areas where we're going to be saving on that time, and we'll be able to get the facility open as quickly as possible. If people can see what's going on. If I point out is that pod right there. You see that the hole in the ground right there. That's a pod, a center location pod for the detention deputy. But in that pod is also a bathroom, so the detention deputy doesn't have to leave the pod to use the restroom facilities. They can use the restroom facilities within that area there. It's actually down below ground. And then give the deputy an opportunity to stay as long as possible, so we don't have to make those transfers and so on and so forth. The new detention tech position is going to be completely electronic, and we also have ways of monitor any movement within the facility, and that movement will be detected by the detention tech that's being able to monitor everything else electronically. There's going to be a lot of electronic enhancements, so we can. That's why we can do a lot of things with less manpower. Yeah. Because the fact of the matter is, electronics are going to take over some of the observations that detention deputies had to do. We're taken over and be centralized by the detention tech. That way, the detention deputy can walk around and do the rounds they have to do.
So we're going to have a lot more high-tech stuff here with the video visitations. Is that going to also be recorded as well for evidence purposes?
No, I mean we basically record everything. We record there's no secret to that. Basically, the video visitation, what that allows us to do, instead of just picking up a phone, because they can pick a phone and do phone visitation, the video visitation allows the person to see face to face. It allows the inmate not to be transported from a pod into a visitation area where now we have 2, 3, 4 people in visitation, and then we have to use deputy time now, take them from doing their other responsibilities, now watching the inmates, making sure there's no transfer of any kind of contraband and so on and so forth. Video visitation allows us to separate that, allows a more secure facility, and allows people an opportunity to visit those people, face to face. It also gives the people an opportunity, the kids and stuff like that they can't normally visit with because we have restrictions. So they actually can visit with more members of the family. And right now we only have a lot of visitation a couple of times a week. But with video visitation, we can expand that. So for the inmate and for the family members, there's more opportunity for them to have more visitation than we could do in the past without compromising the deputy's time within the facility to do the proactive stuff they have to do, and making sure that the facility is operating, making sure that that everyone is behaving within the facility. So it's a deputy safety issue and a concern for us as well. So we don't have someone trying to get out like this one guy trying to scoot out in a suitcase.
Are you looking at any other facilities within Nye County, any jail facilities, upgrading them or expanding them?
Well, we have to look at, Tonopah facilities are old. We have to look at if there's anything we have to do to increase that. We got, the commission looks at that. The commissioner actually has to inspect the jail. See, there's that responsibility they have. They have to inspect the jail because they're responsible for inmate safety and to make sure there's no escapes. Believe it or not, that's what the ordinance, that's what the law, the NRS says. They're in charge of making sure there's no escapes from jail. The reason why they're given that responsibility is they control the purse strings. So they're responsible for making sure the jail is properly maintained. They're also responsible for jail inspections. So we have, when the commissioner who does, right now, Tony Easley does those jail inspections, if she sees a problem, she brings it to our attention and we quickly address that. So there's some equipment, sometimes we have to upgrade some equipment, but when you have and we do that, when it's required, sometimes some equipment has to be fixed. Where she looks at fixing this and fixing that. But we actually we have a very progressive program when we look at those issues. Then we have to bring those to her attention as well. So she makes sure that everything is okay from the commissioner's side. We have the responsibility also making sure that the inmates, we have the day-to-day custody of the inmates, making sure that's also taken care of as well. We have a lot of responsibilities, but we share the inmate responsibilities, inmate care, and so on and so forth, and the facility maintenance with the county commissioners by statute.
And now for our Facebook question of the day. With needs on the rise and assistance being cut, what are your feelings on how we are handling the crisis in our own country, and what steps are you taking? Here's what some of you had to say. Barb Johnson said, I'm not happy with anyone taking on cutting benefits to veterans and to Social Security. They need it the most. What about cutting aid to other countries and take care of America first? Serena said, I really think that the government should stop paying for all the senators and people like that. Vacations and fancy stuff, why do they deserve it? If anyone deserves vacations like that and all the huge benefits, should be our soldiers and military personnel. And Spencer says, why do cuts always have to be confined to programs, departments, and agencies? Why can't Congress take pay cuts like they force other government employees to take? I think our government needs to trim the fat, and they should start with liposuction in Washington, D.C. Some pretty heated opinions there.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Well, speaking of heat, we've got plenty of it. We've got triple digits coming up right around the bend in our 7-day forecast. Don't go anywhere. We'll have that for you right after the break.
News 46 weather is brought to you by Healthcare Partners Medical Group, with 5 locations in Pahrump. Local doctors and professional staff providing total care from infancy to seniors. News 46 weather is also brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body. For more information, you can visit their website at nevadadairycouncil.org.
Hey everyone, welcome back to News 46. I'm Rick Vale with your weather today. A high of 103 degrees. Winds out of the south-southwest at about 10 miles per hour with gusts upwards of 27 miles per hour. Our pressure holding steady on the barometer, 29.94. The UV index 9, very high, back again. Sunrise at 5:41 a.m. and our record high is 117 degrees back in 2005. Looking at tonight, a low of 77, winds out of the south-southwest at about 14 miles per hour, and we're going to see gusts upwards of 33 miles per hour. Sunset will be at 7:59 p.m. and our record low is 56 degrees back in 1937. Looking at tomorrow, going to be sunny out there, a high of 103, a low of 75. Winds out of the south-southwest at 8 miles per hour, gusts up to 23 miles per hour. The UV index is 9, very high for tomorrow. Sunrise at 5:42 a.m. 7-day forecast is looking windy. Thursday, 22 mile per hour gusts, a high of 102, a low of 77. Friday, 31 mile per hour gusts, a high of 98 and a low of 75. Saturday, the weekend, 97 for the high, 74 for the low, with gusts up to 27 miles per hour. Sunday, looking at 19 mile per hour winds, probably the nicest day of the next 7 days, 99 for the high, 77 for the overnight low. Moving into next week, Monday, 26 mile per hour gusts expected with a high of 101 back into the triple digits and 81 for the overnight low. And finishing off our 7-day forecast next Tuesday, 31 mile per hour gusts with a high of 105 degrees and overnight low of 70. And our worst weather in the nation today is Hamburg, Kansas, where blistering heat wave continues.
Scream It Like You Mean It will be held Thursday at Threads Clothing Company.
Tickets are limited, so get your tickets now. Contact Threads at 1231 South Loop Road or call 727-4420.
The second annual Smiles Across Pahrump will be held at Ian Deutsch Memorial Park this Saturday from 11 to 6 p.m. Free entertainment and lots of giveaways for the kids.
And folks, an account has been set up for the Pearson family. Robert Pearson Sr. passed away in a fatal motorcycle accident on Friday morning. The account is at First International Bank on Highway 160. The name on the account is Robert Pearson Memorial Fund, and the account number is 100-420-2196.
Please be sure to subscribe to our free weekly email newsletter. To subscribe, just visit our website at KPVM.TV and fill in the form right on the main page. The newsletter is filled with top stories, coupons, articles, and more.
And folks, all government meetings will not be covered for live broadcast. We will begin covering these meetings again in August. We apologize for any inconvenience that this may create. And folks, that's going to do it for this edition of News 46. I'm Rick Vale.
And I'm Robin Christine.
And from everyone up here on the Hill of KPVM, we wish you a safe evening. We'll see you here again tomorrow night. Until then, good night, Pahrump.
Good night.